Hey there, beautiful souls. Today we're diving into a concept that has the power to radically shift the way you experience your world: radical empathy. But we're not just talking about the standard feel good version of empathy, we're going quantum with it. Because when you understand empathy at a quantum level, you start to see how interconnected we all are, how every thought, emotion, and action ripples across the energetic field of our shared reality. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, Kevin, I already know how to put myself in someone else's shoes, I promise you, this is different. Because radical empathy isn't about being nice or excusing bad behavior. It's about deconstructing your resistance to the contrast in life so you can liberate yourself from judgment, suffering, and emotional triggers. So let's start with the foundation. What is radical empathy and how does it tie into quantum consciousness? Well, imagine for a moment that life is a first-person video game, and every single person you encounter is playing their own unique version of it. Their reality is not the same as yours. Their game settings, their obstacles, their internal wiring, it's all completely different from what you are experiencing. From a quantum perspective, reality is subjective. No two people are experiencing the same truth because their perception is shaped by the subconscious programming, past traumas, energetic imprints, and most importantly, their level of resistance. That's why two people can go through the same event and walk away with wildly different interpretations. Think about it. How often do we assume that our perspective is the perspective? That our pain is the most justified? That our experience of someone else's actions is the reality? The truth is, everyone is moving through life with their own energetic baggage, their own traumas, and their own subconscious drivers. And when we judge others based only on our perception, we're reinforcing our own resistance. And guess what resistance does? It creates dis-ease. Physically, mentally, and emotionally. Now, radical empathy is not about excusing actions. It's not about saying, oh, it's okay, that person did something terrible. It's about recognizing that the person you're judging, the person you're triggered by, the person you're even condemning, is playing their own game based on circumstances you may never fully understand. And when you can release resistance to that contrast, you free yourself up from the emotional charge that keeps you locked in suffering. Let's play a little thought experiment. I want you to think of the worst person that you can imagine. And I mean the absolute worst. Someone you feel has done unforgivable things. It could be personal, someone in your life who's hurt you, or it could be a historical figure, a world leader, even somebody infamous. Now go ahead and write their name down on a piece of paper. And I want you to draw a line down the middle of the page. On the left side, I want you to list all of the things that make this person horrible in your eyes. Really go for it. No holding back. And now here's where it gets interesting. Here's where the challenge is. On the right side, I want you to stretch yourself. I want you to list out every possible experience, thought process, societal influence, or trauma that could have led them to behave the way they did. Not to justify it, not to absolve them from anything, but to understand the layers, to see how no one, not even the worst of us, is born into a vacuum of evil. This is where the quantum shift happens. Because as soon as you engage with radical empathy, you start to dissolve the rigidity of good versus bad, right versus wrong, and light versus dark ways of thinking. You begin to see that contrast is part of the expansion process, that no one is exempt from playing out their subconscious programming until they wake up to it. And that includes you. Think about this. How many people have judged you based on their limited perception? How many people have assumed things about your journey without ever knowing what shaped you? How many people have cast you as the villain in their story, when in reality, you're just moving through your own set of challenges? We're all mirrors for each other, and the more we practice radical empathy, the more we untangle ourselves from the collective illusion of separation. Because when we release resistance, we step into a state of energetic alignment. And in that space, true peace, true presence, true enlightenment becomes possible. So here's my challenge for you. Start small. The next time you feel triggered, ask yourself, what if I'm only seeing one layer of this experience? What if there's more to this person's story than my immediate judgment allows me to see? What if by practicing radical empathy, I could free myself from this emotional weight? Because that's the real magic. Radical empathy isn't about them, it's about you. About your peace, your expansion, your ability to navigate this reality with grace instead of resistance. So if this message resonates with you, let me know in the comments. How has practicing radical empathy shifted your perspective? And if you're ready to go deeper, check out my book, Radical Enlightenment, My Guy on the Ninth Floor, because this is just the beginning of what's possible when you start seeing the world through the lens of quantum consciousness. So until next time, stay open, stay curious, and remember, your perception is just one version of the infinite possibilities that are available to you, and you get to choose the reality you experience. Until next time, have a beautiful day.